Welcome to Tea Time Black Women Talk. The TTEA is compliments of talented, imperial, awakened Black women giving their time, TIME, theories, ideas, mindset, and bringing evolution to the table. In this case, a podcast. Sip, sip, caution, it might be hot. We have Mia X, EB, Mo the Oracle, and Tam IE, that's me. We're all here tonight coming to bring you the second set. So, Mo, did you want to get us started on the first topic for the foreplay tonight?
Yeah, I can get us started. Basically, everybody may have saw, at least it made its rounds on social media this week, the unveiling of specifically Michelle Obama, former First Lady Michelle Obama. I want to give respect. The unveiling of her official portrait, the paintings of both her and her husband, former President Barack Obama, came out, I believe, this week. And what was glaring to me with those photos is, of course, how much Black image has transformed. And what we have transformed into is a picture-perfect view of European ideology. Everything looks as if we are descendants of the European culture, and we have assimilated into their culture so much that we can't bring any of our own culture into that, specifically African. Both Michelle and Barack are from the diaspora of the African diaspora, but we could not bring any ethnicity into those portraits, and it spoke to a certain form of elitism that exists where we know and understand that there's discrimination that exists based on our races and how much imaging impacts that, but we still have a need to attain acceptance and assimilate into white culture. So while those images were very, they were celebrated throughout social media this week, it also brought a deeper understanding of how much ground we are losing in terms of our own culture. So I brought the topic to the table so that we could probably discuss, a middle ground that we can get to where it is okay for us to have Afrocentric or African-centered heritage displayed and not offensive to even ourselves. Forget about the other ethnicities that, Latinos celebrate certain things, Asians celebrate and display certain heritage things from heritage or items that shows their heritage. But somehow when, Black Americans do that, it is offensive or divisive. And I want to get to the point where Black people don't see it as divisive, that we see it just the same way with a sense of pride that other cultures see it. So what do you ladies think? Did everybody see the images or the portraits that were unveiled?
Was it the one with the dress?
Yeah, the dress, and I believe just like the the gay agenda, Barack Obama was in a bunch of flowers.
Shut up.
Hey,
I'm looking at
Oh, man.
I'm just calling it like it is.
Well, okay.
I can get that from it. I think I like her picture. I think it's beautiful. I like the dress. But, I didn't look that deep into it. I don't care too much for how they have him in the flowers, though. I don't like that at all.
Well, it fits right into their ideology of emasculating the men and of course goes right along with that. Please assimilate into our society as much as you can. There was nothing Afrocentric about those. Nothing at all.
Okay.
What would you?
Oh
God. Did I?
Wait, because listen though. Go ahead, Mia. Go ahead.
No, I'm looking I understand where you're coming from with Barack Obama. Yeah, but Michelle, I love it. It's a beautiful picture. And one thing that I always notice about Michelle is that she kept her hair done. I don't know what kind of weave she got in her hair, but it used to always.
Why she gotta have weave though? I'm
pretty sure she probably had a few little, tracks or whatever, but her hair was always flawless. I think the picture is gorgeous, that dress. What do you think could have made her more Afrocentric, Mo?
Basically, anything that would have celebrated our heritage, even a background, even some of the background imaging could have changed. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that she had to wear a dashiki or some African pattern or anything like that, but the background could have celebrated, that heritage that, is there. We can't whitewash everything. Because I guarantee you, if that was a Latino or Asian or some other culture there, they would have found a way to put something of their culture in that photo to show that they had pride in where they have come from and their contribution to these United States. But we are accepting of it, that, hey, no, we're assimilating into this society. And, what's hard to swallow is that even though we have the appearance of assimilating, we can still look at the data, the health care gap, the educational gap, the financial gap, the housing gaps, and see that we're not thriving in this society at all. So why should we give up our culture for just a semblance of assimilation? It's a symbol. We're not really assimilating into this culture to the point that we have thrived yet, despite having a what some may consider a black president.
Ooh, was that shade?
That was a lot of.
Hey, I'm not the only one who's throwing it though. I'm not. Thank you. Finally, it's not just me.
Hey, he didn't really do anything for he in office. He didn't do anything for black people in this country to improve our existence here in this country. He did something for the transgender and the gay people and police officers, but he didn't do anything for black people.
Mm-mm.
But he never promised to do anything for black people either. That's what I keep telling people.
That's true
too. That's cool. But so why does his image? Why should we be celebrating it so much then? Why should that give us a sense of anything? You working for you're that we have been probably the most long storied downtrodden individuals. We continue to be downtrodden in this country in terms of housing, education, health care. The numbers are dismal, and the gaps widen by the decade. Now we can't even say by the years, as if it just started. It just, we have industries that were created just for us. The prison industrial complex, the school to prison pipeline that were created just to make profit off of black men and women. So if you can't get into office and speak to those ideals, then yeah, I'm good on you. You know what I'm saying? Kudos, but I'm good on you.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to take a Molly approach. #Mono.
I mean, listen, I just want people to recognize, exactly what we're dealing with in terms of that. We have to be able to have some pride in ourselves and our culture, the uniqueness that comes from it, just like other cultures do, or we're going to continue to beat ourselves up, trying to assimilate into this society. I'm not trying to assimilate into white culture or European ideology or their culture. It's not meant for us. That's not our heritage. That's not where we came from.
I mean, I guess first and foremost, I just want to know, okay, which way do I start? Do I start the right way or the wrong way first? Y'all give me a coin. Toss a coin, please. I need some help.
I think that everything is right.
So first off, when I look at the picture, I just want to know why Michelle's head is so little. Second of all, if I'm taking a Molly approach, we have to give kudos to the artists that were picked to do this. So, and to that, I would like to say this is where the interesting part comes in. So a portrait is what the artist sees. So the question is, why do they see them like this? And I will say I do feel like Michelle's portrait is slightly better as far as embodying who she might be. But Barack's, he looks very much like the white man in the picture. I mean, now as you read in the article, it says that it is the flowers behind him are a tribute to Chicago, and they are the what is the Chicago flower? That is the
hold on, I'm gonna help you with this. I think I read that already once.
Yeah, it's the jasmine flower. I knew it was the reason I ain't say it.
You were so petty.
Well, they have the jasmine flower symbolic of Hawaii, and then the chrysanthemum, for Chicago. And then they have the African blue lilies for his late father, which is interesting because that's where they're trying to bring out the black heritage. But his face looks, if you washed him over, looks white. I mean, but he is, biracial. So I guess it's like, so what are you really looking for? But this, wooden chair, I'm like, does he have this wooden chair at home? Did he sit and pose in this wooden chair to get this picture? I'm assuming they put on something and took a picture and sent it to the artist. I'm not sure. And then as far as Michelle, the dress is what's beautiful. I don't know about, the rest. And I really still am trying to figure out why her head is smaller than the rest of her body. But
I think the color is so dull. But
that's like that blue background. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
compared to Barack.
Barack looked like he belonged in somebody's house from 1950 or 1960. I mean, this looks like we got the old furniture going, the parlors, yeah. And then with Michelle, and I felt like they should have been kind of cohesive. So why they so separate? How do you have these Yeah, how do you have these pictures side by side? Like, where's the love? A, and B, I mean, why is her color washed out? She's black. She's chocolate black. She's brown, dark brown. She does. She looks washed out. Why she got to be a black and white? You know, like, I don't know. I mean,
y'all know why. Y'all know. Exactly
well, I mean,
I don't even think it looks like her, but that's another story.
I guess I could see that it favors, but again, I'm still trying to figure out why her head is so small. Because her head is not big, but I mean, she got a proportionate head to the rest of her body. But I don't know. It is underwhelming.
You know what they did? They did everything they could to, like Mo said, take the culture out of the picture. This symbol of who they are is less. What's the word I'm looking for? It's less. Let me just say scary because I can't think of the word right now. To them, like to give them all their features is to give them power, the power of fear. So by making them like dulling them down, toning down their skin, you know, softening up the features, especially Michelle. She's very close to a white woman right now. Down to her demure. Yeah, her demure features. Like she's not a demure woman. She's a strong, individual woman. So to me, this picture doesn't speak to her strength whatsoever. It makes her soft. And that's not exactly what black women are. And it's been made to be something that's negative, but in all actuality, our strength has pretty much, is what saved us throughout this whole ordeal. So I don't know why we keep getting demonized about being strong. I mean, it's a product of the environment. You really weren't given any other choice to be strong or, bitch die. But
exactly.
I'm still looking at
that's the word I'm looking for. Less intimidating.
I mean, I keep looking. I mean, they look straight out of like somebody else's picture. I'm like, are Barack's eyes blue? What color are they? Hazel. Because in the picture, they definitely look like they tried to give him some light-colored eyes, and I don't remember them having any light-colored eyes. Why his eyes look all hazel and stuff?
But, at least his color looked good. I don't, listen, all the flowers, and look, y'all took that straight out of, the gay man's agenda. That was, I'm like, wow, this is good. This is good.
See, I don't necessarily see the gay man's agenda because they explain why they put it up. But however, I'm trying to figure out. Is he gay?
I'm sure there's some sugar there.
With who?
I don't know that the brother might be. He looks like.
Y'all talking about?
I guess that's me being racist.
Don't nobody wear their pants that tight.
Girl, shut up. No, they're saying the artist is on the gay man agenda. I mean, I didn't get that from the portrait. I'm tripping because he looks like he belongs in somebody's parlor. Like, this is a parlor picture. Like, this is not something I could find to put in my house somewhere. Like, at all. I'm really tripping. And then the same, like her, she's more modern looking in this picture. And I really do think that they took a picture and gave it to the artist. I really do think that. But I do not appreciate her being washed out and, once again, her head being that small. This is disappointing. And you know what? They say that this will be a permanent piece in the Smithsonian, and I disagree. I think they should rotate it and give a couple other people a chance to try again.
Yeah.
And I think we should start a petition.
I'm for it. Write my name down 4 times.
8 times. 8 times is the 8th way.
There we go.
But I don't know. But the question is, like, when you're talking about the European, doctrine, the question is, why did the artist see them this way?
Because
like,
that is the depth of where we have come to of having to assimilate into their culture for acceptance and to just survive here. Because that's literally what we do. We survive. We don't thrive. So everyone has some form of programming that says, hey, I just want peace when I walk out my house. I want to be able to go to my job or go to my business, and I don't want to be confronted by the ugliness that discrimination brings, or the negativity or the impact of it. So I'm going to tone it down. I'm going to dress a certain way. I'm going to talk a certain way. And we have been so beat down with that we, in our viewpoints, in our artistic eye, we will we will display it. And this is a perfect example of how over time this has become celebrated in terms of this is how we are. This is where we've come to, and it's a perfect it's a sad representation of where we are as a culture, as a community.
Got you. No, I agree. That's, not to take away, because I'm sure it was monumental for the people chosen to do it. So, that's fantastic for them. But it is disappointing that's the view, that was the perspective, and now it's on display in a national museum where hundreds and thousands of people come and see that. I can't even say like powerful image, but that image of people that are perceived to be very powerful, and also a representation of us as a people. So, yeah, I guess we'll have to come up with some solutions as far as that's concerned. And, it would be interesting about starting a petition. We definitely could talk about that. I would be interested in seeing if, some of our listeners, what our listeners think as far as starting a petition.
I would love to get other people's opinion. I've seen what people said over social media, and it's been largely celebrated, especially Michelle Obama's. And I don't think anybody really looked into it because we surface level think. We're not,
right.
We don't go in depth, with our thinking and how the impact, is to our community. And it used to be a time when an artist did this, it would take, a very long time for them to come up with an angle or a view to do it. And because we were still largely centered in our spirituality and our our African heritage, this piece wouldn't have gone up without some semblance of that. And so it was sad for me.
Right.
But I'd love to hear what a lot of other people think, on this subject. So, yeah, chime in, y'all, if y'all out there listening.
Nah. So we've got that one, and we'll definitely. I'm sure that'll be a great discussion topic on the page, www.freedomtrainradio.com.
Yeah.
/ BWT, Black Women Talk, is what the BWT stands for. So, Mia, did you have a topic for the foreplay tonight?
Yes. And I'm sure many of you probably heard about there was a video on social media that went viral. This happened the end of January, like the 29th, I believe. And it pretty much was like a racist rant coming from a U.S. Air Force Tech Sergeant Geraldine Lovely. She pretty much ranted specifically about her black female subordinates, saying that they had attitudes, and she felt like they lacked respect for authority. This rant originally was posted in a private group, eventually going public by someone, no one knows who it was that posted it publicly, but it did reach approximately about 25 million views. So my issue with this is that when she went on her rant and her tangent in regards singling out black females, out of any other person she's ever worked with, she had issues with specifically black women, and, she placed blame on us in effort to uphold that stereotype that I cannot stand, which saying that we always have attitudes. Have y'all seen the video? No one's seen the video?
No, I haven't seen the video.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, and she was in uniform, and
that's bullshit.
Yeah, she was in uniform. She was cursing. It was horrible. But
but that's not disrespectful to the American flag. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. And to think that, and you can tell she felt superior because she would say, her people that were under her. She specifically gestured a lot of things that, kind of led me to believe that she was power tripping. She even mentioned one of the young ladies referring to her as ma'am, like saying, yes, ma'am. That even bothered her, And
so what the hell are they supposed to say?
I don't know. I think in the military, an officer ranking versus a sergeant, you address them differently, I'm assuming. I don't know. But I know there are specifications on how you address certain rankings. One of my clients was telling me about that. But, I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, we're always, as black women, I don't care if we are, speaking in a nice tone, but when we stand up for ourselves or when we are provoked or whatever it is, it's like we always are listed as having an attitude. That's the first thing that's always said about us. Do we have the right to? Absolutely. Absolutely. But there's
this is bullshit. It's bullshit all the way around, and I really just feel like it boils down to people being intimidated by us. I just still think it's bullshit. Why the hell are you intimidated? Get some balls and man the fuck up. I don't know why we have to be completely prim and proper. I think we can be politically correct, and I think that we can be tactful in what we're saying, but I don't understand why when we say something it has to come off aggressive. This is really, for me, a whole nother show because, one time somebody told me I couldn't be black because I didn't roll my neck when I talked. And I was like, excuse me? Like, if I rolled my neck when I talked growing up, my head would have been on the damn floor. Like, so I'm very stiff-necked when I talk. I really don't talk, swaying my neck and popping my lips and, that's a small percentage of people, and it's unfortunate, and this is why this is a whole other topic. This is why I don't like those shows that are that bring us down, because the stereotype becomes real, and that people want to put that on the rest of us, and it's not true. Is it sometimes whatever? Okay, but as a whole, it doesn't have to be like that. And if I have an attitude, that doesn't mean your attitude is any different than mine. It might mean that I display it differently. But, I've held my tongue more than a few times when I feel a certain way. And so if the one time I express myself, I become the angry black woman, I think that's bullshit.
Right.
Like, that's bullshit. So, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to say it? And that's what I'm saying. Like, am I supposed to be like, yes, Samantha? Am I supposed to be like, I told one of my coworkers one day, you keep calling me like I'm a damn slave. I'm sitting right here. What do you want? I'm right here. Like, it's just, that is ridiculous. And I know people get mad at me when I talk about trash TV, but that's one of the reasons I talk about trash TV, because I think trash TV goes ahead of us, and it portrays and enhances and puts a stamp of approval on the image that we already have. And I'm not, absolutely not a fan of that. I'm very passionate about that, and I don't like it at all.
I don't watch it either.
2 seconds.
I don't watch it either, but maybe not for the same reasons. Any uniqueness that we can display, I feel like, hey, let's go ahead and do it, because we can't win this argument. I don't care how demure we try to be. Our very essence or presence in a situation is intimidating to, a culture or ideology that wants to, that wants to bring us down. So anything that we do is going to come off as threatening or intimidating in certain senses, in certain settings and situations, professionally and personally. So I think the idea would be to somehow embrace a certain uniqueness regarding us. And speaking of those shows, what they don't tell is the background information on a lot of these ladies, what it takes to negotiate contracts, what it takes to stay relevant in their industry, how they invest in themselves, how they invest in other things, and what they show in an hour-long or a 30-minute show is not representative to even who those females are. Because when you see them in other settings, in other business settings, in other business meetings, it's a whole different arena. So, I know they do probably perpetuate, they perpetuate a certain ideal about us from another culture, but what does that mean to us in our own community? How do we interact with each other? Why does that change our mind about how we should interact with each other? Because that's what this should be about. As far as having an attitude and that stereotype, I'm going to go ahead and embrace it and say, yep, I got one. On any given day, you might see a little flare-up of it. I don't walk around with privilege. I don't get it. I don't get the benefit of the doubt. So, yep, I do have an attitude, and you can either deal with it or, float on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get away from me. That's all to it. But I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it every time. And, I may not be the roll my neck, smack my lips tight, but I got, there's some things in me that are unique to me, and I will use them. I won't always speak in perfect English or perfect vernacular. I will use certain slang in professional settings. Yes, I do. Don't mind doing it because it's who I am. And I'm not going to steer away from that just because somebody says the standard is such and such. If you tell me the standard is anything that's rooted in European culture, I'm going to reject it all the way together, all the way. So, yeah, I got an attitude. What about it? I would, so what?
I'm in agreement with Mo. I had to put it on mute because I walked into the convenience store. I didn't want to set nobody's alarms off. So I was like, let me chill for 1 second before I give my answer. They think I'm just going off. But so yeah, I just believe that everything that is associated with Black culture is the agenda is to demonize it. So, no matter what you do, if it's not, and this goes all the way back. Let me even rewind it back a little bit further and try to tie it back into the conversation about Sergeant Whatchamadoodle. There is this air that
Sergeant Whatchamadoodle.
Yeah, whatever the fuck her name is.
Piss on that.
It's not important. It really isn't.
That's why I said,
but there's this air that we are not equal to any other culture in our society. We are supposed to be beneath them. Therefore, they figure that we have to approach them in a certain manner or we're disrespectful, no matter in what arena it is. In the military, I just feel like however they would have projected or presented themselves, if she just felt that it wasn't low enough, then it just was not going to come across for her because she already views black women as being lower than her in the first place. So you need to address me as if you're lower than me. And that's where, the confusion and everything comes into play. Like, you have never been viewed as an equal in this society since the incision of our Constitution. We're written in as not being equal. It's like a third or some shit. So it's always going to be an air of you have an attitude because you're not coming to massa the right fucking way. You know what I'm saying? You're just not doing it. So therefore, everything you do that isn't on some yes a master type stuff is going to get seen as you having an attitude. You standing up for yourself. You being dead right. Like, you're right. You're absolutely right. But the way you presented the information was wrong. You ain't come to me the right way.
Right.
But
right.
I feel you on that, but the catch is with her, she's not even white. She
thinks she's white, though. That's the issue.
Yeah.
A lot of Spanish people are under the assumption that they are of European descent and not African descent. So
she was Hispanic.
There's a lot of people out there that feel that same way too.
Very
so
true.
We got to listen.
She was Hispanic.
That perpetuate that.
She's Latino. Yeah, she is.
Man, let me drag that hoe.
Yeah.
Like,
not drag.
Like, because it's just unfortunate, the separation between us. I mean, we're all colored. I mean, Hispanics are like colored people. I mean,
they are.
My folks are, my immediate folks, they're Hispanic. So, I mean, and they darker than me. So what the fuck you mean, like...